Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm Jive talking to John Norgrove. We've got Wife here. It is Star Trek Thursday, so we are going to do Star Trek Thursday things. If you are new here, don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that kind of stuff. We have a podcast. You should listen to it. It's a witchy podcast. It's dope. It's called the Horn and Cauldron podcast. I'll have a thing here. And we have a Patreon. Patronize us, or what the fuck ever that's called. Action word patron us. Whatever that is. I don't know that one.
I think it's subscribe.
I definitely don't think that's right.
I think it's subscribe.
Donate? Support?
Support.
Maybe support. Support us. Whatever. Anywho, we're in season 4 of Star Trek Voyager, so let's get right into it before the Netflix that I'm reading to keep track of these episodes decides to start playing a flippin' episode. Let me tell you what, that's a thing I have to deal with. So, first up is episode 6 of season 4, The Raven. So this is the episode where where they're like flying through space, and these people in this area of space are like, you're not allowed to be in our space. We don't like you people. Don't come into our space. And so 7 of 9 is like being sassy or whatever. And she basically like she like has a Borg flashback, and so she just like steals a shuttlecraft and like runs into the enemy space. And Janeway's like, the fuck is going on with this? Come to find out, she was actually having just a regular memory. And I guess she had like a meltdown about that. But she was just having like a regular memory.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a memory about when she was like a child and she was kidnapped by the Borg because her family was researchers who somehow made it all the way to the Delta Quadrant in less than 70 years, whatever.
It's not important.
It's probably the same wormhole that threw those fucking Ferengi out here.
Probably.
But, so yeah, they basically like sneak across the border, blow up some aliens, rescue 7 of 9, and she's, I guess, more human for it. This is a good episode, though. There's a lot of backstory on 7 of 9. So episode 7 is Scientific Method. Basically, like, it's been a while. And all the crew is like very on edge about stuff, and like Janeway is having migraines, and so is having like their shoulder act up, and all this other kind of nonsense. And the doctor, somebody's doing some shit, doing a repair on the doctor, and he like sees a glimpse of some motherfuckers fucking with our crew, and so he's like, "What's up with this?" And so he kind of like all of a sudden, so he starts to try to investigate it, and then all of a sudden his program's gonna get deleted. So he like pretends to have his program deleted and then hides out in Da Vinci's place, dressed like Da Vinci. It's amazing. I love it. It's so great. But so yeah, there's some like aliens slightly out of phase with our reality who are running experiments on our crew because that's the more humane thing to do. These assholes said.
Yeah.
So Janeway basically does what Janeway does best, which is flood the ship with radiation and set it to self-destruct until these fucking assholes leave. But this time, it was, there's a star nearby, so why don't we just drive
right
the
into
ship
the
into
star?
the fucking star?
We're just
or
gonna go
whatever.
right at the star.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna crash it into the star. And the aliens are like, don't be absurd. And she's like, bitch, you don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
So she crashes into a star.
Well,
and she's like, set course for the star. And so they set course for the star, lock everything in, so only Janeway has the passwords. Yeah. And Tuvok's over here like, there is a 1% chance we make it out of this shit alive. And then when the aliens are like, fine, we'll leave. They leave. They get their ships to leave, and their ships both blow up. So she just murdered all of these aliens.
Yeah.
And then is like, computer release protocol logs, whatever her password is. You know, password 1234. And she's like, I hope Tuvok wasn't lying about those statistics. And Tuvok's over here in a life or death situation, just like, I don't really lie about statistics. And so obviously giant eagle motherfucking Paris has to pilot them out of a star safely. But whatever. Who
This
cares?
was my favorite of the 5 episodes.
This is such a great episode. Janeway is
fantastic, and all of the stuff with 7 of 9 trying to like
she's
undermine
like,
the aliens.
Yeah, and she's like having to like
without letting people know.
It's so good, dude.
And Space Dag Tuvok finds out, and she's trying to explain it to him. And Janeway's having like a day, but then Janeway finds out, and she basically
immediately goes to suicide. She's just like, I'll blow up everybody. I don't even care. I've had a migraine.
Cash me outside, but like cash me in this star.
Yeah, this is the thing. She had a migraine, and it's been a while, and so she just decided to murder everyone because of it, which I'm gonna be honest with you, is a pretty fair... Did she solve the problem? Yes. So is it the right choice? I'm gonna go with yes.
Some days you have to go
sometimes you just gotta murder all humans.
A little nuclear to get a problem solved.
How you doing? You want to murder all humans?
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
So after that is episode 8, Year of Hell Part 1. Which is basically like they show up to some space and these aliens are like, watch out. Like, we're in charge of this space and like, you're cool, so we'll let you go. But like, there's some other people who think they're in charge of the space and they're assholes. And Janeway's like, okay! And then so they go like a little distance and they run into another ship. It's very like a final girl running through a hallway.
Yeah.
You know? So it's very just like, he's over there. Run for a little bit. Now he's over there. Right? It's that. So so they run into some aliens and they're just like, we're the Krenim. This is supposed to be our empire. Fuck those other aliens. You're not about to be here. And Janeway's just like, whoa, I can see the duct tape from here on your ship. How about you back the fuck off with that shit?
She's like, and also, we're just passing through.
And then like a time shockwave hits, and that shit just like, that ship gets bigger, and the ship is now full of a lot of concrete rubble because it was all fucked up. Yeah. And they're like, this is awful, what's going on? And then like another one happens, and they're like trying to escape through this space, and come to find out, there's the Krenim use temporal weapons so they can pass through shields or some sci-fi things like that, technobabble like that. And so 7 is like, we gotta make multi-phasic shields that are at the right frequency for their time weapons. And so they decide to do that by like going into a Jeffries tube with an unexploded thingy. And then scanning it, they get that, like everybody dies, but then everybody's back because time wave saves everything again. And now they have temporal shields, so they're not affected by the time wave. But what we do learn is that what's causing the time waves, and the fact that they're now not affected by the time waves, is a big motherfucking alien ship trying to displace shit from time. Not like, hey, I'm gonna murder that thing, but hey, I'm gonna erase that thing whole ass from time, past, present, and future. Which is like a little overkill, man. Yeah. Like, why don't you just erase that shit like 500 years ago? That would be significantly less complicated. Whatever. It's like, when you think about it, knowing that there have been several temporal wars, like, and temporal cold wars within the Federation, you're like, this guy's kind of dumb having to erase it all the way. Just go back and kill his grandma.
You're like,
That's,
also, this is exactly why there's these temporal accords.
Yeah, this is why we have rules about time travel. So, whatever. Janeway runs into them, right? So then we cut to episode 9. I'm pretty certain this is the transition, but whatever. Episode 9, Year of Hell Part 2, where Janeway runs into them and they're just like, fuck this ship. And so they really mess up the ship and they steal Tom Paris and Chipotle, and then they go away into time space or whatever. Yeah. And Janeway has to hide out in like a nebula, and they're like fostering, they're like getting rebels together. It's very Star Wars. They're like getting rebels. They're gonna like try to blow up the Chronoton ship because they know that that's the ship that's bad or whatever. And like the Krenim Empire is like this huge threat, and all these like species that were like once grand species that like have now been like debilitated to the last of their race, kind of a thing. And so she decides to, the Red Foreman is the captain of the Krenim time ship, Chronoton ship, and so Red Foreman is just like, I've got to do it. We got to save the whole empire, including, Omicron Persei 9. And there's a lot of references in this, but you know what I'm talking about. And because that's where his wife was. And like, they try it and they fail, and they try it and they fail. And then he talks to Chipotle and Tom Paris, and Tom Paris is like, you're a fucking murderer. I'm not gonna help you. And Chipotle is just like, yeah, you seem cool.
Well, Chipotle's like, gets very Stockholm syndrome.
Dude, Chipotle, literally, he's in jail for 2 months, and then he's like, hey man, you want some steaks? And Chipotle's like, yeah, we can be friends, what's up? Like, no question. There is no transition. Chipotle's just a piece of shit. But we learned that at the beginning of season 4, he took a hard turn after getting denied by Janeway. I feel into
well, he gets denied in episode 1 as well because he like saved up his replicator stuff to like make her like a really nice watch that he gives her on his birthday, and not only does she on her birthday, not only does she not not only does she not want this gift, she like lectures him about why he shouldn't have given her this gift. Yeah, and you can. But
she's also like overly stressed from her mission, but like she shuts him down. But we later find out that she actually did keep the watch because when Chipotle was stolen, like she missed him.
Yeah, so it was a very
it was adorable. But so they decide to attack the ship, and because apparently this ship Red Foreman's been fighting, been trying to change time for like 100 years or whatever. His crew's real fucking done with that shit.
200 years.
200 years, yeah. Real done with that shit. So the crew decides to mutiny at the behest of Tom Paris, so smooth he can talk soldiers into mutineering for him.
Yeah.
And so they decide to fucking mutiny, and they're like, we gotta destroy the Chronoton core or whatever. Technobabble. And so when they mutiny, they turn off the shields and they transmit the location of the Chronoton core to Janeway, and Janeway is on the ship with blind Tuvok. Oh yeah, Tuvok got blinded. He uses a tactile feature built into his panel. I feel like that's something that we should talk about with the like people bitching about the 3D stuff in Star Trek Discovery, but whatever, not my problem.
It looks super similar too.
I don't know. I think they only show it for like a flash, but it is very very up and down. Yeah, it's quite similar.
I would not be surprised if Discovery used
like thought that at least, probably a little. But Janeway is like, our torpedo tubes are jammed and our phaser arrays are all burned out, and there's no more shields on this ship, and also the front of the ship is kind of like a hole into space with some force fields. So you know that's not safe. And so she's just like, fuck this place. Let's ram into it. So she just ramming speed into the ship and destroys the ship, and because she understands temporal mechanics in a way that no living creature can possibly understand it, that saves the day and the ship is fine.
Yeah, and then
because it erased the ship from time, thus catching us post-credit scene all Akimbe style, where Red Foreman is in like a beach house with his hot alien wife, and she's like, honey, what are you doing? Let's go have dinner or whatever. And he's just like, I'm working on this time ship thing, or I'm working on these time things. And she's like, don't worry about that. And he's like, that's fair. And then they just fucking leave because they like erased the idea of the ship even from his head. So, like, that worked out, like, hyper surprisingly.
Yeah.
This is also one of these, this two-parter, Year of Hell, is, like, one of the best runs. Janeway crushes it. Kate Mulgrew is, like, fucking Oscar goes
This was, like, a fantastically acted episode.
Yes, she was so good.
Everybody really enjoyed it. Everybody really played great parts. The bad guys were very, like, Star Wars Empire.
It was. This was
the original
straight up a Star Wars episode.
Bad guys. But I was actually, like really surprised that they actually went through like approximately a year during these two episodes
which
because
is nice.
like different scenes would change and they'd be like day and then the number of the day,
but it's
and
also,
I was just like, oh, they're really going for a year. It's not just a metaphorical year.
It's also sort of like a dream sequence episode or a holodeck episode where all that stuff happened, but at the end it resets. So hey guys, none of that happened. Which is like sort of a shitty way to end it, but because of the framing and plot elements of this episode, it's the only honestly logical way for the episode to end. So like I like it. It makes sense. Chicken shit, but makes sense. I like it. And then, so the last episode, episode 10, is Random Thoughts. So the Voyager visits this planet full of a bunch of impacts, and Tuvok's kind of homies with the last police officer on this planet. And then B'Elanna gets bumped into in the market, and the guy that bumped into her just beats the ever-living shit out of the dude with a stick, and they're like, B'Elanna did it, not this guy, because his mind was taken over by that hate thought. So we're gonna we're gonna scrub B'Elanna's mind of hateful thoughts with a machine that kind of works and kind of isn't gonna hurt people, but we're the humane ones because this lady's
that they don't know anything about Klingons.
Well, I mean, they say that it's gonna take a day to adjust the machine to work for her specific biology, but when they ask, like, is this dangerous? Engram erasure is dangerous because they're erasing hate engrams. Engram erasure is dangerous. The lady's just like, it's not that dangerous. Most people come out okay. The damage is minimal. And you're like, I'm sorry. You were just lecturing us about having a brig is like making us low-level pieces of shit, and you are just like mutilating people,
brainwashing.
Yeah, well, they're
scientifically lobotomizing.
They're like technobabble lobotomizing these guys, and they're just like, it's not that bad. Just absolute pieces of shit. Also, the main lady's supposed to be like all peaceful, and she's like a cynical bitch the whole episode. You're like, oh my god. Could you be more of a bitch? Yeah. I thought you were supposed to be peaceful, and you're like snapping at people.
It was like super cathartic to watch Tuvok like question her,
dude,
and then like undo her whole like philosophical.
Tuvok is so like enamored with her in the beginning. This is really a Tuvok and B'Elanna episode.
Yeah.
Because it's like B'Elanna's just angry the whole episode. It's just fantastic. But Tuvok like is at the beginning very like enamored and proud of this race for like moving in the path that the Vulcans moving down a path that seems to be the same path that the Vulcans moved down. And this lady's and he's like super into this lady and they're super friendly, and then when stuff starts to go down, he starts to realize that she's so unadept to the idea of something malicious happening that she, it's Occam's razor, but to an almost idiotic level, right?
Yeah.
Like she follows the path of least resistance, but she like doesn't even conceive that there could be something more. And then when they inevitably start researching that there's something more, come to find out there's also Neelix's like the hot girl that Neelix was hitting on gets stabbed to death by a grandma.
She was a melon seller.
She was a melon seller, and she was wearing like a low crop shirt, and the opening scene is Neelix like hitting on her, and she's just like
after saying that he's like rusty because he hasn't like
patting melons back. It's so weird, dude.
Tess.
Yeah, it's so weird. Whatever.
Which is like a little heartbreaking.
It is a little
Is
heartbreaking.
a little like Jerry from Rick and Morty trying to date again.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But
don't get me wrong, I love Neelix so much. But yeah.
Yeah, he is. But so also like an old lady goes crazy with it, and so when Tuvok starts looking into it, come to find out there's a secret ring of like anti-peace people who sell and trade in illicit thoughts. So they like hold these like angry memories or illicit memories, and then like give me money and I'll give you this illicit memory.
Yeah,
so that way you can like
black market.
It's like black market for like, hate thoughts.
For like angry thoughts.
Dude, I would be so rich. What is happening here? Jeez, I could feed those guys the whole planet for like forever. Yeah, no questions. What's up? I've seen a lot of movies, dude. Let's rock and roll. I know a bunch of horror shit, and I have a great memory for plot. But, yeah, so so Tuvok hunts him down, and then they beat the shit out of Tuvok, which doesn't make any sense because he's a Vulcan, but whatever. And that part, it was just upsetting. I was like, this is bullshit. But so they beat him up, and then they're like, give us your precious hate memories. And he's like, I won't do it. And they're like, give it to us. And he's like, okay, bitch, I'll do it, but you're not gonna like this. And so she basically like melts this guy's head with hate. It's very like 90s like metal music video. It's absurd. And then he calls Janeway, and Janeway calls the police officer lady, and the police officer lady is just like, this is it's strange for me to be stopping this right now. And Janeway's like, there is other evidence. You need to not like mess up B'Elanna's brain. And so then Tuvok provides the proof, and the lady's like, I don't believe you. And then Tuvok's like, but proof. And she's like, okay, fine, I believe you. And then they fucking leave. And like theoretically, B'Elanna's a little messed up, but like not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were the 5 episodes that we watched. I think you're right. I think probably episode 7 episode 7 Scientific Method is the best episode of them. It's like
it was definitely the most fun.
It's like a spy thriller set aboard Voyager. It's quite fantastic.
Yeah, it was definitely the most fun. I felt it was the most
also like all the little devices attached to everybody.
Star Trek-y of them.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
it was also like a little like Outer Limits kind of.
And it has the best Janeway, which is like Janeway who's done with your shit. Janeway done with your shit is my favorite Janeway. So yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, I love the Year of Hell 2-parter, but you know, because they both have like, I'm done with your shit, Janeway.
I like Sassy Bedroom Janeway.
Sassy Bedroom Janeway is also a good Janeway. That's fair. There's a lot of Janeways. They're all fantastic.
Yeah, I love.
Oh yeah, and we had new Janeway hairdo in
I'm not a big fan.
10.
I'm not a big fan.
I don't know that it's gonna stick. I don't. Honestly, that's like one of the things I don't remember having seen this show a million times. Is like what hairdos last for how long.
Her hair.
Yeah.
It's very stressful for me.
That's fair. Her hair's best up, in my opinion.
It is best up like a Victorian lady.
That's me. That's because she's a fancy Victorian lady.
She is.
But
a fancy
either
Victorian
way.
lady.
I have been John Norgrove. This has been Wife. This has been Star Trek Thursday. These were episodes 6 through 10 of Star Trek Voyager. So our 5 episodes of season 4 for this week. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell, yeah, that's right. What are your favorite parts of these episodes? Since I ran through them just non-stoppily. And then,
yeah, he's like the micro machine guy.
I don't know what that means.
What?
I don't know what that means. means.
You don't know what that means?
Don't forget we have a podcast. Listen to our podcast.
If you don't know what that means, look it up.
Yeah, Google that stuff. You're already on YouTube.
Machine
And you're already at the end of this
guy.
video, so look it up right when we're done here. Catch you guys next time.